Alrighty, y'all. What's up? Welcome back to the show. We are looking at retro Rallycross. Now, this was actually just, Rallycross in the 80s. This was suggested to me by a comment from a Vampire Mug on a previous video, and he said you should check out late 80s British Rallycross. That's pretty much where Group B rally cars ended up. And I thought that was a really cool comment, so we're going to check it out. Now, this happens to be a, modern video, so we have better sound and better visuals. But, of course, this is basically modeled after what would have been 80s Rallycross back then, now labeled as retro Rallycross. Now, they have different classes. This is the retro four-wheel drive Rallycross, and so basically, these are, as you can see in this screenshot, these are Group B cars. Now, this is something I did not know because I'm still learning as I go, right? As you know, I'm a huge Group B fan, totally mind blown by it. It's what got me into rally as a whole, and I still think is arguably one of the coolest eras of any motorsport ever. I mean, it's just iconic. Of course, we know Group B came to a pretty chaotic, halt and was just done abruptly, right? And you had all these awesome cars that were, quite frankly, dangerous as well. But I'm glad they found a home, maybe in a little more of a controlled environment on these track-style rallycross races. So, like I said, did not know that. Very excited to see this. And we're going to take a look at this video. This is from Retro Rallycross. That's the channel name. And we're only browsing part of this video. So if you want to watch the whole thing, check out that link in the description down below and check out their channel. Let's go.
Grid of four-wheel drive cars. Just look at that.
I haven't seen many rallycross at all. So this is new, and I know rallycross probably a lot of variety. So
Steve Harris will start
I've lots to learn.
RS200.
But yeah, look at the field. We have all the classics, the big names. The Ford RS200, of course, the Audi Quattro,
winning car. David Holford's
the
Audi,
MG Metro.
Like of the grid as the lights go green. Great start by Roger Thomas, who bolts away, but it's Liam Duran carving his way through from the second row of the grid, who will lead ahead of Harris as they go down towards Chestons for the first time. And Thomas, having bolted away initially, then seemed to lose pace on the drag down towards turn one.
And what's cool about Rallycross is we can see they're on like a traditional, tarmac track, and then they cross over into, gravel, dirt.
As they come then to the devil's elbow.
It's really cool.
And Liam Duran in the car that his father Pat used in Europe and to win the British Championship. Liam Duran leads the way up the hill. He's been on the podium in the World Championship. He's been a winner in the American.
I love the sounds of these things.
Of course, been a real star when he won the Rallycross.
It never gets old.
In the past, and Liam Duran now being led off the leash, if you like, in the family RS200. Let's just watch him at work as Roger Thomas goes through. Paddock in the 6R4.
Damn.
So it's Ford's one.
That 6R4 is pretty menacing.
And two. And the MG Metro 6R4 in third place. Roger Thomas now.
And I still have a lot to learn about these individual Group B cars. Like, I haven't really learned anything about that. I haven't learned about the Peugeots, which those were, like, spectacular. Even the Fords, honestly, right? I've really been concentrating over the last few months when I learned about these. Of course, I've learned about the Audi. I literally have a poster. I'll have to show sometime if I show a studio tour. I have a 80's Audi, Group B S1. Like this cool metal poster in my studio that I get to see every day. That's how much I love that thing. Of course, the Lancias are really cool.
Back onto tarmac. Rob Gibson in the car that he raced in the 80s.
It's just, there's so much more to learn, honestly.
Influx of Group B cars into Rallycross. Rob, a Ford dealer, got rid of his Porsche 911 and went the 6R4 route, as always, in his familiar bright yellow colours. And he and his wife Shirley, prime movers behind the retro Rallycross movement.
Ooh, look at the flames.
In colour scheme is Liam Duran.
Woo!
Q8 Oils came into the sport in a big way, also threw lots of money at truck racing in the mid to late 80s.
You saw the way that thing beautifully, now, I wouldn't even call that drifting. That was like a straight up power slide. I think like power slides are faster than drifts because it was actually like gaining speed through the turn. That was incredible. That's Group B for you. At Ford, and it came off the turn
just like Mark Renison ran it in the late 1980s before Mark had a spell at Formula Ford and indeed
look at that Audi.
British Touring Car
I love it.
David Holford.
What I would give
to look like Herbert Brightonader's
to drive that car for 10 minutes. Wow.
Barrel roll. But Liam Duran,
that thing is wicked though. That Ford, huh?
Back onto the tarmac surface. His dad's out in the supercar class this weekend, and Liam Duran is on the limit here.
Sharp.
Flings the car uphill. It's a very valuable rallycross car, of course, these days, but Liam Duran is driving it with perfection.
He is driving the hell out of it. I totally respect that.
Track. And Liam
this is a time capsule, and I realize it's worth a lot of money.
Dawdling, is he?
Look at him, he's going crazy.
Far from it, smoke pouring off the tires as he comes through.
Let's go!
Way up onto two wheels, dives onto Cheston's Drift for the last
He's driving the hell out of that thing. I love it.
David Halford, in the meantime,
that's how these things are meant to be driven, man. They're monsters.
Quattro with its distinctive engine note powers downhill. Steve Harris looking good for second place.
Dude, this is awesome. I gotta see something like this in person, man. Because look, no offense to the announcer here, I just want to hear these things with no commentating, right? I just want to hear the engines let the cars speak for themselves.
Day out for the Harris.
But even better, it would just be seeing this in person, man. These things are
David
so
Halford
sick.
Chases after Rob Gibson across the loose.
I gotta see if there's some sort of Group B, retro event here in the States anywhere. I mean, I would go to any state. Obviously, someday I'd rather see this somewhere else. I'd rather see this in Europe, but. It would just be cool, consolation, at least seeing them here in the U.S. I just don't know if that's a thing. I don't know if there's any retro events that would have these in the U.S.
Has he thrown
I don't know.
At
gotta look that up.
Coming out of the hairpin, again, smoke pouring off the rubber. Liam Duran has given it everything. It's been great to watch. Roger Thomas, who we will see in the supercar class at some stage during this year, goes up the hill, through the chicane, over the line goes Liam Duran.
That Ford's grown on me. It's freaking awesome, but I have to say also, credit goes to the driver. That guy is just
he wins the
whipping that thing around the track like a toy. It's freaking awesome.
Second is going to go the way of Steve Harris, and Roger Thomas is set for third.
Look at that big wing.
It's a Ford
craziness,
1-2 at Lyddon. It takes you back, doesn't it, looking at these cars?
So the Ford won, I believe.
To see the way that
there's two Fords, I should say, but
really has taken
that
RS
2001
this year,
or RS 200. Damn, that Audi sounds so good.
Liam Duran has done the business, no question about it.
Look at that thing is a monster. That thing deserved to win. He deserved to win because he was driving the wheels off of that thing. Wow. Just get a shot of that. That is so cool. It's even got the 80s retro colors, the paint scheme. Freaking love it.
Middle of the front row.
Anyway, that's going to do it for this one. Now, as you can see, there's different classes. Look at this same track, this Rallycross track. Really, really cool. I love the elevation change, the change of surfaces. I definitely have to get more into Rallycross because if I love Rally, I think I'm going to naturally like Rallycross. It's similar enough and yet different enough to be its own thing. Of course, you're dealing with a track. You're not dealing with going like up a mountain or through a forest. So that's what I like. It's just it's like a variation of an already, badass motorsport. So I have much more to discover clearly, but I thought if I'm going to see Rallycross, the first thing I want to see is those Group B cars ripping around. So I want to see more footage of that. That was an excellent suggestion from Vampire in the comments. Like, seriously, that's awesome. Just ultra obsessed with Group B and ultra obsessed with Rally as a whole. I cannot stress to you how awesome it is. And it's so refreshing to get that perspective because, like I said, I'm not a big fan of NASCAR anymore, like modern day NASCAR, like the last few years. I honestly, I don't really watch it anymore. I just keep up with news here and there. But, I watched it my whole life, right? And I really do like the concept. Like, I like NASCAR, and I like, before modern era, I still like the cars. Like, they're really cool. But I have to admit, right, growing up kind of with that one-dimensional view, like, oh, NASCAR this, NASCAR that, these things are awesome. Like, I wouldn't have thought until I, actually used my head and watched this and realized it's mind-blowing that I have no doubt in my mind that you take most tracks, right, especially with some twists and turns, it's pretty mind-blowing that an 80s rally car with, like, a 2-liter engine would definitely beat a lap time of like a NASCAR, which is a tube chassis V8, right? Like total race car. But granted, I know these Group B cars are total race cars as well. It's just pretty cool to think, right? Like that's why racing's so interesting. There's so many ways to do it. There's so many different varieties. Anywho, that's gonna do it for this one. Throw a like on there if you did enjoy it. Subscribe to be part of this amazing community. I can't wait to hear your comments and suggestions down below. My name is Ian. You're watching IWrocker, and until next time, y'all, I'll catch you later.